بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. So we're discussing some stories that Mufti Taqi Usmani Sahib, Hafidhahullah, has mentioned throughout his lectures. So we're discussing his teacher's teacher. His name was Mawlana Asghar Sahib, Rahmatullahi alayhi, Asghar Husain, Rahmatullahi alayhi. So Mufti Taqi Sahib, Hafidhahullah, his father, Mufti Shafi Sahib, he said that one time I went to visit my teacher, Mawlana Asghar Husain Sahib, Rahimahullah. So they're both ulama. So he said, let's talk in Arabic today. He said, let's talk in Arabic. So, see, when we learn Arabic in madrasas, in the ulums, the goal of our Arabic is not to speak Arabic. Yes, I was watching a clip yesterday. Somebody's talking about spoken Arabic. So he goes, he's talking about spoken Arabic, MSA and spoken Arabic. So he said, I'm trying to translate some novels from standard Arabic to spoken Arabic. I mean, spoken Arabic is a different language altogether. Like, you don't understand a thing. So when people say, oh, the ulama can't speak Arabic, yeah, we can't speak Arabic. We don't learn your Arabic. Like, it's a different language altogether. You don't understand a thing. If you go there and try to listen, understand everything. In Egypt, another language. Saudi Arabia, another language. Saudi Arabia, some of the ulama, they speak Fusha in the lectures. But on the streets, you don't understand a thing they're saying because they don't follow any of the, you've got no clue. Bring them to our books, say, yeah, come, let's read Razi, let's read in the Kathir. We have no problem. Let us discuss the usul, waraqat, sharu waraqat. No problem. But when it comes to speaking, because it depends on which dialect you go. And even the spoken is completely different to the writing. So that's why we don't focus on it. If you go to the shops and try to speak, they will look at you like, strange, where are you from? Yes, because it's not the way they speak. It's a different language. So don't think of spoken Arabic in the Middle East as Arabic. It's different compared to what we study. That's why we don't have a clue what they're saying. Yes, you understand? And if you want to learn the Arabic, just go there for 2 weeks and you learn Arabic. You don't need to do all the hard work. So the Arabic we're studying is Quran-based, fiqh-based, so we can access the information. Yes, anyway, so he was saying, let's speak in Arabic. So he said, well, we don't have practice. And he was like, I want to speak in Arabic today. We can't speak Arabic properly. Like, we can't speak it correctly, but the vocabulary is not on the tip of our tongue. When you're writing, you can think, so you can write very fluently, because you've got enough time, like a second to think before you write. So you can write very fluently, but when it comes to speaking, it's a bit, and then the word, like, what is carpet? We don't use the word carpet in the hadith that often. Like computer, microphone, speaker, fans, these words don't come that often, so it's a bit difficult to speak without practice. So he goes and asks, let's just talk in Arabic. So he asked him, why do you want to talk in Arabic? He said, you know what, when we talk, me and you, Mufti Shafi Sahib, he's an alim, he's a great scholar, and his teacher's also very pious. When we talk, we end up talking like, suddenly get carried away in our conversations. We talk about somebody else. We could get involved in ghiba and backbiting. So if you're talking in Arabic, we have to think, we want to talk too much, so we save ourselves from ghiba and backbiting. That's why he said this. So, certain things that a person can actually do this action is a wali of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One of these things is staying from ghiba. If a person can protect his tongue and his lisan from ghiba, you can say this person one of the great awliya of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because for that, you always have to have the ihsizar of Allah. I'm going to say something, and Allah's my words are being recorded. Whatever I say, whatever I do is being recorded. And that's the thing. And many people, and it's very easy. The ulama, we have Imam Nawawi's chapter heading, Illa, the few surah with ghiba is permissible. So we always find a leeway that all this is the jaiz ghiba. There's always a few situations. We always find one that's the mubah. But we should try to do this. And one of the reason or the root cause of ghiba is really pride. You have to think of yourself as being better than somebody else to do ghiba. No? Why would I talk bad about you if I think of myself inferior to you? So that's why it's a very severe sin. And in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala He's mentioned many sins, but I don't think there's a sin where Allah describes it and like draws a picture of how evil it is. So let's say, okay, la taqrabu zina. Let's don't do zina. Allah says, riba, Allah kind of mentions it a bit. Other verses, theft, murder. But for ghiba, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ajib, it's like, because we've read it so many times, it doesn't really click to us. If you sit down and ponder this, like, if you imagine like somebody says like, you have meat, and you have a dead body, you have your brother, so your brother has passed away, he's lying in front of you, yes, and you cut his meat off, start eating that meat. If that video was to go around, like a video of this was to go around on social media, it would go viral, like, this is so disgusting. Or if somebody was even forced to do that, you said, imagine how poor he must be, how hungry he must have been, that he's eating the dead meat, dead flesh of his brother. Like such a despicable scene. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is ghiba. This is an example of ghiba. That you have your brother, he's dead, he's passed away, you've cut off his arms, you cut off his feet, his thighs, and you start eating his meat. Just thinking of that, you feel like puking. So listen, this is ghiba. When you talk about somebody in their absence, in a way that they will hear, they will feel bad about this. It's ghiba. So we should try our utmost. This is one of the things that, like, this is the farah. It's not like, highest levels of taqwa. Not high level of taqwa. This is basic. This is fundamental. It's not muttaqeen. It's not the high level of taqwa. This is basic. That we should make sure that our tongue, we do not backbite, talk bad about anybody, ever. If you need to mention somebody, do muhasabah. Think to yourself, pause for a while. That, look, I need to talk about, my son is going to school, something happening at school. I need to mention it to somebody else. Let me choose words which are very correct and very moderate, so that I don't, you have to say something that mom and dad will talk about what happened at school with the son. That somebody is bullying their son, so you have to talk about it. You have to go and complain. Yeah, you have to talk about the people. But before you talk about anybody else, don't talk about anybody else by necessity. And if you have to talk about somebody else, then think very, very carefully. Because on the day of Qiyamah, this is going to be majority. It comes in the hadith. Imam Jabir radiallahu ta'ala, he says that the Prophet ﷺ said that this will be the cause of majority of us going to the fire of Jahannam. And he was shocked. He goes, that will people be thrown in the fire of Jahannam because of their tongues? The Prophet said, on the contrary, the majority of the people will go to the fire of Jahannam because of their tongues. If you can control this tongue, especially from ghiba, this is one of the fundamentals. Stay away from this. Stay away from this. Stay away from this. Do not mention anybody in a bad way. And if you have to mention somebody, then think very carefully, very carefully. Now just imagine that you're doing a vlog. Or imagine that this is being live streamed to that person. Is it necessary? Can you justify what you have said? If having a meeting that, look, Funa failed his exams, what should we do regarding him? So after the meeting, I've talked to Mawlana, look, he's not doing well in class. So if that meeting was recorded and goes back to him, he would say, okay, what they said was, like, we weren't mocking, we weren't jesting, we weren't taking a mic, we're just discussing, okay, he's struggling in this lesson, that's a fact. It was difficult for him. How do we help him? Oh, so very truthful, very factful, without mocking, without jesting. Don't do this. On the day of Qiyamah, we'll have much regret. Yes? Because now what will happen? We'll come on the day of Qiyamah, lots of a'mal. We spend 3 hours a day, 4 hours a day, some of us 6 hours a day. We're studying, we're teaching, we're doing hadith, we think, oh, mashallah, alhamdulillah, we know shukr that we have a good life and Allah's given us tawfiq to do all of this. But in between, we spoil it with ghiba, we spoil it with backbiting. On the day of Qiyamah, we think, oh, we have loads of a'mal. And then he'll say, oh, no, he backbited me on Monday, he backbited me on Tuesday, he backbited me on Wednesday, on Thursday, he done this. And one by one, we start taking all of our a'mal. Then what will happen? We'll end up in zero. We're looking at our gross ibadah, look at the net, minus all the ghiba that we do. You understand? So try to stay away from ghiba as much as possible. Do not talk about anybody else without necessity. And if there's a necessity, then do istihdar. Think for a while, pause, and say, okay, I have to talk about this person because there's a need, whatever the need may be. But let me make sure I say words which are correct. And if this meeting was recorded, and it was to go to him, would I be able to justify this in the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Look, I had no choice. I had to mention this incident for him to know. Somebody asked me a mashura regarding this person, I had to say the truth to him, and I said it as best as I can. You understand? And if you can save yourself from this is the base level of taqwa, and it's also a very high level of taqwa. If a person can get this done, you have to do it. It's not like, oh, voluntary, or this is for the muttaqoon, or for the very righteous. It's for everybody. It's the base level. But if you can do this, it means that you're a very high level as well. So try to install this in your life. Some things that, if you get this sorted, like a quarter of your religion is in place. Get this tongue under control. Do you understand? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to act on this.